Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another weekly dose of aviation. And in today's video we talk about winter disruptions all across Europe, a 767 that burst its tyres upon landing in Atlanta, and a student pilot that crashed upon his second solo flight. So we start off with winter disruptions all across Europe, and specifically at Birmingham. Birmingham had to close its runway for a whole night, which meant all the flights had to either divert to Manchester, Liverpool or Heathrow. So in this case of the Air India 787 Dreamliner, the aircraft was heading from Delhi to Birmingham but had to divert to London Heathrow due to extreme snow, as they stated. The airport was covered in approximately 25 centimeters of snow during the night, and the temperatures reached the -2. All the flights that were taken off from Birmingham got cancelled, and all the ones landing got diverted. This also meant that a lot of the traffic got diverted to East Midlands, which did accept the aircraft for the first 2 to 3 hours. But then, after the snow started hitting East Midlands also stated that they had to close the airport, and they closed the runway for a whole entire night and caused winter disruptions. So as you can see on flight radar, all the aircrafts did get cancelled from East Midlands, and most got postponed till after. So a lot of the aircraft took off in the mornings, making it a really big rush over there. But other than that, East Midlands did not too bad. But Amsterdam Schiphol is still struggling to this point. They've been struggling with the snow for the past 7 days. They've got apparently 20 centimeters a day, and they're getting about 40 a night according to sources. So they have diverted a lot of the flights. A lot of the flights are cancelled. Over 95% of all KLM flights have been cancelled due to heavy snow, and on flight radar there's only normally about 3 to 4 aircraft that you can see due to the winter disruptions. The aircraft is normally prepared for flying in snow, but due to the amount, it's just not possible. The airport is trying to make it as possible to operate around the airport, but due to them having 6 runways and probably over 100 kilometers of taxiway, it is really hard for them to clear it all in time for all the departures. So this meant that an A380 that landed had to go to a holding point, and it waited there for 3 hours before it could actually taxi to an available gate. This was caused by not enough aircraft departing due to heavy conditions. So the aircraft had to wait for an open gate, and because the A380 is a large plane, it meant that it had to wait for a suitable gate to actually fit its size. So that caused a month's delay, and Emirates cancelled all the flights to Amsterdam for the next 2 days after that incident. So I think they're starting to return to normal, and by the time this video is posted I think it will be fine. But now we move on to America and Boeing 767. So this 767 was landing in Atlanta from a flight from Lima, and it was quite a steady flight, no delays or anything. But upon landing in Atlanta, the pilots incurred a hard landing, causing all 6 tyres to burst. This made the plane stuck on the runway for approximately 4 hours before emergency services could actually remove the aircraft from the runway. The passengers were not hurt in this instance and were evacuated safely and quickly off the aircraft, and the pilots did state that it was due to wind shear on approach, but should have initiated a go-around procedure. The FAA is investigating this and will be checking the black boxes of the aircraft to see what was happening, as it also records all the instruments going off and stuff like that. So now we move on to Australia, where a pilot who was on his second solo flight did a touch and go, did the touch and go quite well, but then pulled up too quickly, caused the aircraft to stall, and sadly made it crash. The pilot made it out okay. He was the only one on board as it was a solo flight, but after about 2 minutes the plane burst into flames, and the plane was, well, not recoverable, as you can see. The Australian police said they are investigating. The fire services were deployed and the aircraft was dealt with. So the runway was closed. There was a small airport in Sydney. The airport did get closed for about 4 hours before the aircraft could be removed, but everything ended up nicely. And now we move on to the last thing for this week, which is quite a sad one. And our An Airlines has retired the last Star Wars livery. So this was a special livery, as you can see, operated by An Airlines, and they have retired the aircraft due to the licensing of Star Wars expiring and their ads. So this means they can't use it anymore. So it is quite sad to see the nice liveries go away. They did have one of the best liveries in the world, according to me, because they were just so pretty, and I mean, they were one of the better liveries. But anyway, that sums up about everything that's happened this week in aviation. I hope you have enjoyed this video, so please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.